Alex,
I can't hear.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
But I'm sure whatever you're saying is very interesting, I promise.
You nailed that intro, but I didn't hear it. I'm sure you did.
I will sip my tea and wait for you.
I will. Yeah, I had some leftover. No protein shake today.
No
Have
protein
some
shake today?
no
Just straight up water?
protein shake today, bud.
You're
Too
missing your
early,
tea bag
man.
over there.
I know. I'm not a caffeine guy. I got enough
Alex,
of it.
log out and back in.
So what's up, Dax?
Not too much, buddy. Just chilling. Still can't hear you. Uh-oh. And did she freeze now, too?
Yeah, she's logging out and back in.
All right.
Are we live on YouTube right now?
Yes.
Well, if you guys will all be patient, she'll be back in shortly, hopefully.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah!
Yay! All right. Sorry about that, T-Tribe. Of course, we're all working from home, so technical issues happen, but don't worry, we're still live here. And of course, welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm still Alex Schiffman, and you can hear me now, so this is great. And for a second day in a row, I am joined by my guest co-hosts, Dax Holt and Adam Glynn from the Hollywood Raw podcast. Hey guys, welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
What's up?
You know, I just
What's
love
up?
that I can be heard now. You know, I'm always struggling to be heard, but now I'm heard, right?
You sound so much better than before. I'm not very good at reading lips, so this is much easier.
Yeah, I thought me and Dax were about to do our podcast. We're like, oh, maybe we should just do our podcast.
You know, as I was getting ready this morning, I was like, you know, I hope everything goes smooth. There's no technical issues. And of course, things happen. But what are your guys' morning routines? You know, when you get up in the morning, what do you go through? I know, Adam, you have your protein shake you got to make. So
I have a protein shake, and then I do a protein shake, but before the protein shake, I usually go for a walk. I'm in New York City, so I go for a walk and get a wheatgrass shot. I sound like I'm such an LA person, but I usually take a morning walk real quick, get a wheatgrass shot, and then I'll start to go through my phone and my emails. And I usually sleep with my phone on airplane mode, so I'll just wake up to all my text messages and emails right then. So I'll go for a wheatgrass shot, and then I start my day. Nothing crazy. Dax's morning's a little bit more hell.
Mine starts off with normally a workout, and then my kids wake up and all goes downhill from there. It was funny because what people don't see is we had a little pre-production meeting before this starts to talk about stories and stuff. And I look over halfway through our production meeting, and my 5-year-old son has crawled on the counter in our kitchen and was putting the waffles into the toaster himself. I'm like, this is not safe. I need to go. So I had to peace out. But thank you guys for being patient with me.
Yeah, Dax had to jump off early because he didn't want a fire in his house, which was very understandable. But yeah, we have a lot to talk about today, guys. But before we get into that, of course, you know, the Morning Tea is international. So T-Tribe members come from all over the world, and we love to hear about it in the chat. So if you're just joining us, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. I see Dolch in the chat says it's night in Germany. So that's pretty cool. You know, sometimes we're on all different time zones. Teresa's saying good morning. She's probably in the same time zone as us. But we go international. Is there any place you haven't visited, guys?
Yeah, let's talk about late.
What were we saying, Adam?
Yeah, I like Lady T-Joy. She said I have nice dimples.
Oh. Thank God you called that
I'm like
one
the
out.
Jewish Mario Lopez.
Love it.
Yeah.
You see them all rolling in now. Tiffany is joining us from Trinidad and Tobago. We got Cass coming from Chicago, Illinois. Petrie is
Tokyo,
coming from
Norway. Whoa, you got some far off viewers. I love that. That's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. Amanda's joining us from Massachusetts. Sarah from the Netherlands. Is there any place you guys haven't visited that you want to go to?
Egypt.
Oh, that's a good one.
I could have went to Egypt and I screwed it up.
Me too.
I messed that up.
I was in Israel and I didn't go.
Exactly. I was in Israel and I didn't realize how close Egypt is to Israel. No cheap flight. You just want to go to Egypt. I was like, dude, if I even looked this up, I was so stupid. I didn't look it up. I didn't realize how close Egypt is to Israel and how cheap of an air flight it is. I was like, man, I should have did it. I'm so mad I didn't do that.
Same here. Regrets.
I haven't seen anyone from Egypt, but maybe we'll get a special T-Tribe member from Egypt today, just for you guys. While they're all joining us, let me just break down what we have on the show today because this docket is full of news. We're starting off talking about the Billboard Music Awards taking place tonight, which is very, very exciting. We're also talking about what happened on last night's episode of The Bachelorette. Did you guys have a chance to watch it?
No. Oh, yeah. First time I ever watched it.
All right. But we will get to that. Plus, Selena Gomez's new movie. And it's in a genre you may not know. Plus, Shawn Mendes is taking his talents to Netflix. We're also talking about Demi Lovato's new song, the rumors surrounding Nicki and Cardi collabing together. This is pretty shocking for a lot of people, but also exciting. And then Niall Horan is giving back to his crew members. So this is pretty cool. We'll tell you about that story. Then behind the Kar-Jenner gates, we'll go over the teaser that dropped for tomorrow night's Keeping Up with the Kardashians and how Kylie and Kendall may be feuding. So we'll get into that. And then finally, for our OMT story of the day, we're going to be figuring out what Cardi B's recent exposure on her Insta stories means for her divorce from Offset. So we have a lot to talk about, guys. Are you ready to spill this piping hot tea? Because there's a lot to talk about.
Let's do it. It's
all right.
tea time.
Salud, let's go.
Tea time, cheers. All right. Okay, right. So let's get right into it. Of course, these are You Missed It stories, and these are all the stories that you may have missed overnight. Don't worry, we handle all the trending tea for you in the morning. And first up, we're talking about the Billboard Music Awards. They are tonight and have a star-studded cast of nominees and, more importantly, performers. So kicking things off at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC, the awards will be hosted by Kelly Clarkson for the second year in a row. And Kelly will be opening the show with a performance of Higher Love by Whitney Houston. Then there are other performers, including Garth Brooks, who's the recipient of this year's Icon Award, John Legend, Post Malone, Alicia Keys, Bad Bunny, Demi Lovato, BTS, your favorite guys, Doja Cat, and more. So are you excited for tonight's show? And who do you think is going to be raking up all the awards?
I gotta say, the lineup isn't something that's super enticing. I do want to watch Doja Cat. BTS, I'm not into that. But I just don't feel like there's any names that I'm like, I need to see this performance tonight like I've had in the past. And I don't know. I'm not overly excited. Listen, if I got nothing going on tonight, I'll turn it on and I'll watch it in the background because I do love music shows in general, Grammys, all these things. I enjoy watching people perform. So I'll have it on the background for that reason, but there's no big names that I'm excited about.
Yeah. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, if you set your DVR for this, get your head checked. It's ridiculous. It's another award show. It's like for the award. I'm very curious who wins is the Who Gives a Crap award. That's the one because really, no, I don't care. Nobody on this list I'm excited about. I mean, all it is background TV. I hope there's other stuff on TV I can watch tonight. As far as the people performing, again, nothing iconic. I mean, Alicia Keys, okay. There's Post Malone probably might be the only one I'm excited because I think he has a lot of hit songs. But the real winner of this is Kelly Clarkson. I feel like Kelly Clarkson in the last few years has really taken off. Besides her talk show being a massive success, now she's hosting this for the second time. I mean, props to Kelly Clarkson for really coming out. Obviously we know her from American Idol, but really having such strong longevity in the business and still maintaining every single year getting bigger and bigger.
Right. Yeah, I have to disagree with you guys because the Billboard Music Awards I'm an awards person, so let me preface that. But I love award shows. I love tuning in. I don't know. I guess I'm pretty basic like that. But the Billboard Music Awards is different because the performances are what kind of makes the show. They take two different genres from two different, sides of the spectrum of music, and they bring them together. So while, the performers listed here may not excite you, there's going to be some surprises. I can guarantee that, they're going to have something like a Metallica and BTS on the stage together. I don't know if you're
Sorry, you lost
interested in
me
that
again.
either, but maybe like an Ariana Grande and a Dolly Parton, or, they'll take old and new genres and put it together, or rock and rap. You'll see some cool stuff. So
Listen,
I'm going to tell you to tune in, and this is not an ad.
I have been a fan of the Billboard Music Awards for a long time, so it's not, I know that they have some cool stuff. Again, Metallica and BTS, not what I want to watch tonight.
Right? Well, the chat is kind of agreeing with you. Danielle is saying, yes, only interested in Doja, but still not too excited, but we'll still watch. Rihanna is saying Kelly Clarkson needs to be the permanent host. Kelly Clarkson is so relatable. You just love her, don't you? When you watch
Is that why people like her so much? That she's just relatable? Is that what we're looking for now in a star? Is that what we want? Just someone who's relatable? I don't know. I want to see a star. I don't want to see someone who's looks like they'd be my neighbor.
I think there's a bit of both. I think the relatable aspect is something that's appealing to people, but I also think the wild, over the top Mariah and Celine Dion is fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? You want to watch someone that is a diva and over the top and crazy, and I don't know. I think there's a bit of both aspects, but I think Kelly's a great choice to be a host because you sit there and you watch and you just enjoy her, and she sings and she does all these covers. It's fun.
Right. Kat in the chat is saying no Kanye, no Selena. I think Kanye is a little busy doing this thing called a presidential campaign. And Selena is busy with other projects, which we'll talk about later in the show. So no, unfortunately, they will not be performing. Is there anyone that you would like to see on this stage that we didn't mention?
I like to see some of the legends. I love seeing the old people come perform. I want to see, you want to make it exciting, bring Britney out. I'd love to see Britney. Let's let her out of the house and let's get Britney to perform at the Billboard Music Awards. I think she could use it. I think she could need it. I think that would be awesome.
No, I say she's not ready for that. I think that that would not
How
end
do we know?
well. Well, because that would not end well. That would be I feel that she would embarrass herself, and I am Team Britney. I want her to succeed, but I don't want to see her make a fool of herself. I want to see Rihanna back up on stage. I've been saying this for a while. I want her new music. I want to see her perform. I'm ready for some Rihanna. And I've been saying I want her to do Super Bowl halftime. Is really what I want her to do, but I know that that's not on the top of her list with everything that's going on, culturally right now.
Right. Amanda is saying Shakira. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. Do you want to see Shakira on the Billboard stage, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd watch her, but again, we saw at the Super Bowl last year, I guess, was it? So it's not like we haven't seen her perform. Someone who I haven't seen perform in a long time, I just want to make sure she still has it, is Christina Aguilera. I want to see what's going on with her. I want to see how she looks. I would love to see where she's at.
Yeah,
I'm down
definitely.
for that. I see a lot of people,
Right.
Madonna, Rihanna, Paula Abdul. There's a lot of people's names coming in right now.
Paula Abdul would be fun.
Yeah. Paula Abdul would be fun. All right, well, let's get into this Bachelorette news. Even though, some of us didn't tune in, the Bachelorette's race to the rose has begun. Don't worry, Dax. You'll still understand what's going on. The season 16 premiere of the hit show aired last night with Claire meeting all of the new contestants. Claire almost immediately fell for, of course, Dale Moss, the rumored winner, turning to host Chris Harrison in tears saying, quote, "I knew it. I definitely feel like I just met my husband. Oh my God, I'm shaking." Now, the episode continued to be Dale, 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 as Claire completely falls head over heels for him. It doesn't hurt when Dale says such smooth lines as, quote, "When you were announced as the Bachelorette, I was watching on TV and you walked out on stage and just had this beautiful energy, like a real confidence. You were so excited, but you knew you were exactly where you were meant to be. That's something I felt. There's so many things I can't explain sometimes in words, but you just gotta feel it." Now, unsurprisingly, after all of the gushing, Dale was the winner of the first impression rose. So the big surprises this season have been telegraphed from the get-go. A lot of secrets are known to the public. Do you feel that at least for half of the season, it's sort of like watching, a giant car crash in slow motion? Or are you excited to kind of watch this drama unfold?
Bring on the train wreck. That's what people are tuning in for. If everyone already knows the result, what you're tuning in for is the fight, the drama between the guys, them being upset that she's already kind of allegedly picked someone. That to me is why people are tuning in this season. It has nothing to do with the love story here, because you've kind of seen the love story in all the press clips they've released. So you want to see what happens with all the other guys and how mad they are. At least that's why I would tune in.
Yeah, I love the trailer where these guys, all these guys wearing their suits from Men's Warehouse go on strike because they're just pissed off at everything. It's like, really? You're walking around a Holiday Inn and pissed off and wherever they filmed the show. Last night's episode was fun. It was interesting. Obviously, we know what happens to this season. But you're curious how it plays out. And it's weird. It's weird that we know who she picks. It's weird we know how this story ends up. With that said, I thought it actually clarified a few things. One thing, there was rumors before the season started that Claire and Dale have spoken before the season started. That they allegedly were talking before they had a relationship before the season started. But last night, Claire and one of the other contestants, one of the other guys, talked before. And she says, we talked before, he reached out to her during one of her difficult times. And she was really excited that he was the only one who reached out. And she was really impressed that he risked his chance on the show to make sure she was okay. So it kind of shows that they didn't speak before. With that said, Dale Moss is obviously the clear favorite to win. He's expected to win. But there wasn't that much competition. All the guys were terrible. They were terrible. They were so corny and so cheesy. I was like, dude, this is not real. These guys are not real guys. The one thing I learned last night, because again, me and Dax on our podcast, on Hollywood Roll, we've interviewed a bunch of these Bachelor and Bachelorette people. The one, to be honest with you, I've never watched this show. And doing journalism about these TV shows, we don't want to watch these shows. We can usually read about it the next day and we feel like we're still there and know what's going on. But the one thing I learned is that they film the show, like the rose ceremony is done all night. It's filmed all night. So they're exhausted and they walk into the house like 8 a.m. after they got their rose. Like, it's an exhausting process.
Alex, we talked to Trista Sutter, the first Bachelorette on our podcast. Oh, yeah. And my big question is always like, how do you remember all these people's names? Like, you met them night one. They probably walked out of limo. You said, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? They go into a party and then you have to eliminate them hours later. And I was like, how do you remember everyone's names? Because I have a hard time remembering people's names after I literally meet one person, And she said that they would stop down and they would do groups of 3. So even though it looks like on TV they're doing all 20, eliminated the first night in a row, she said they would go back, learn 3 names and then go out there and say those 3 names. And then go back again. Oh. And so that's why it takes so many hours to film this show. At least that first night. Most of the time when they're leaving, you see the sun's coming up the next morning.
Wow, that's some tea. Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I was like, how do they remember these names? I figured maybe they get a photo and a bio before they meet them. But that kind of goes against the rules because the whole point is learning about these people through the season. So that's interesting. Very, very cool.
Dale obviously was the most charming, I thought, guy. The most very just kind of chill and kind of low energy, but not too low. He just kind of came off very modest, where there was too much energy from these guys. It was just so corny. Every guy was trying to outperform the other one. And again, props to the editors. They do a great job. It's somehow they made a show where you know the ending seem very compelling.
Yes, so we will stay tuned. I'm excited to see it unfold. Even though we know the winner, it's kind of like what they did, through quarantine. They brought back all the old Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons. And even though we know all the winners, we still want to watch. We want to see that moment where they fall in love, and we want to kind of experience it knowing the ending. I know some people they're not interested since they know the end, but I still want to watch. T-Tribe, are you excited for this season? Even though you kind of know who wins.
Danielle agreed. Danielle said the guys are always corny and cheesy, but she has a lot of handsome guys on the cast. So there you go.
She does. And some that I don't know how they got there also. But
So actually, Dale last night, after the show aired, Dale put on his Instagram and said, I felt that. I felt that too. And so it sounds like they're still together.
Ooh, there we go. All right. We're already on After the Final Rose right here on the Morning Tea. We know the aftermath as well. All right. Well, let's move on to this Selena Gomez news, because Selena is getting into the Halloween spirit. She's signing on to produce a horror movie. So this is cool. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Selena is set to produce the new fashion-themed horror film Dollhouse. Now, she is also in talks to star in the film, so that's also exciting. Now, Selena is no stranger to horror either, having just acted in the zombie horror comedy The Dead Don't Die. So, guys, what do you think of Selena jumping back into acting and on a horror film, no less? Are you ready for a new Scream Queen, Selena Gomez?
I mean, I think the fashion industry is already a horror show in itself half the time, because of the way that these models get treated and knowing what they have to go through. And it is not an easy industry. We all look at it and we go, oh, it's easy to walk down a catwalk and to look pretty all the time, but it is not. These women go through, well, men and women go through quite the hell. So I could see being turned into a horror movie for her. Sure. I mean, I think she's a good actress. I think she's a good singer. I'm willing to give it a try and watch the movie.
Yeah, I feel like in the last few years, Selena Gomez, we've kind of heard more of her mental state and what's going on with her personal life as far as trying to find out who she is. And I'm excited to just see her get back to work. I want to hear her music. I like her music. Obviously, she did a big movie last year. Not too many people watched it, but it was a big cast. You had Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, whatever her name is, in the cast. But now it's like, all right, I'm excited for her to get back to work. She's producing this movie, though. And we know as producers, I mean, there are names involved with it, but I'm curious how much involvement she's actually going to have with the project. Is she actually going to be at the set every day? Is she going to actually have involvement with the director, with the cast? I mean, what's her involvement going to be with the film? At the end of the day, I just want to see Selena get back to work, make music, act. We like you. We support you. We want to see what you do.
Well, she did. She was producing 13 Reasons Why. I mean, that was a huge success for her. So,
but was she actually doing it? Do you think she was on the cast?
I don't know. I mean, listen, you get involved at a certain point. Oh my gosh, sorry, my dog is like making loud noises over here. Apologize. Can you hear her walking around whining?
All things go this morning on the show. Don't worry. Yeah. But I'm excited. Selena was also rumored to possibly be in Scream 5 coming out, with all the old cast members, David Arquette, Courtney Cox following her. So it sounds like she's kind of transitioning into this horror genre, which will be cool. She's also mentioned that she wanted to kind of, he's crying. He doesn't want Selena to be in horror movies. He wants Selena's music, just like It's funny. We have another host who has a dog that always barks when we talk about Demi Lovato.
Sadie,
so
come here. Sadie. My wife just walked in the door, so she's whining because she's excited to see her. All right.
But you know what? Horror is actually a really good genre for her to go into because it has such a strong, loyal audience. Horror fans are obsessive when it comes to horror films. They have horror conventions, and not too many of their conventions of film. Actually, there's no comedy. Actually, there's porn conventions, but that's the only other genre of film that has conventions, but horror audiences are diehard when it comes to this stuff. So I think it's a great thing for her to get into. It's a great demographic to really kind of enhance our audience.
And you know what? Do you remember when Paris did House of Wax and
Yes!
her famous like kill scene, and how much attention that brought to the movie was just because people wanted to see Paris Hilton die was like a whole aspect in itself. And I would say Selena is not in that category, but I think people would go if she does have a death scene in there. I mean, people will watch that because people are weird.
Right. Lady T Joy is saying, I love horror, so this is exciting news for me. Let's hope she knows how to produce something that's actually scary. Oh, Lady wants to see some real horror, some gory stuff. Yeah, I feel like people are excited to see Selena in this horror movie. So stay tuned for that. This will be good. But there,
people want to see my dog. You want to see my dog?
Yeah.
Katie, come here.
Yeah, bring over.
Come here. See my loud dog. Come here. Come here. He's coming. She's trying to make her way through my chair gauntlet over here. Come here.
What kind of dog is Sadie?
Sadie is a golden retriever.
Oh,
come here.
Gorgeous.
Oh, she's falling. She's big. I'm trying. Come here, Sadie.
Big.
She doesn't know what's going on, so she's a little confused. There we go. You see her?
Oh, hi, Sadie. Sadie.
All right, you got to go down. Oh, Sadie. Okay. There we go.
All right. Well, listen, Shawn Mendes is also getting into some new content. He announced yesterday via social media that he has a new documentary coming to Netflix titled In Wonder. So in the Instagram post you see here, Shawn wrote, quote, been working on this documentary for so long, and I am so excited to finally share it with you all. Hashtag In Wonder, November 23rd on Netflix. So the film is set to release November 23rd in anticipation of his next album, Wonder, which drops only a week later on December 4th. So Shawn will give us an inside look on his life on tour, tracking the last few years of his life and the events of the last world tour. So Dax and Adam, what are your thoughts on Shawn coming to Netflix? Are you getting excited about, his new projects starting to come out?
I think
I
love documentaries. Oh,
yeah.
Adam, you go.
No, I was gonna say I love I love documentaries. I feel like I went through all of them on Netflix. There's not too many documentaries I haven't seen on Netflix. There's not too many more that I'm interested in. And then he's an interesting guy because Shawn Mendes to me comes off a little kind of squiddy. Like he's just kind of like you don't really know who this guy is. He's just like this perfect guy, plays guitar. I'm like, I want to see, it's going to be good if they really show what kind of person he is. I want to see what his normal day is. I want to see him get angry. I want to show him being a man because we don't really get to see that side of him. So I'm excited. I'm interested to see, I'm not excited to see his real life. I'm interested to see his real life because I want to see what kind of guy he is. Because as far as I know, all I know him from is his music. There's been some really good documentaries, but there's been some really bad documentaries. And I just hope we really learn a different side of Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, sign me up. I love documentaries. I like seeing behind the curtain of these people's lives. I like following them around and seeing the chaos that ensues when they go to airports and when they have concerts. And, I love Taylor Swift's documentary. I like Lady Gaga's, Beyonce. Like, I just find living their, seeing how they live their life is fascinating to me. And like Adam said, I think if you really show the real raw side of someone, it makes you love them even more. And Shawn Mendes is probably one of the nicest guys in the industry. Really genuinely nice. I can tell you whenever he goes to the airport, he will stop and he will sign autographs for every single fan that is waiting for him. And his fans are also unbelievable because they know he'll do it if they're lined up in order. So when he goes to the airport, you see all of his fans. They'll do a single file line all the way down, and he'll just stop, picture, sign, all the way down, as long as they're calm and they're orderly, like I said. So I don't know. He's a really cool guy.
You want to hear a crazy story? So it's a real Shawn Mendes story. I was at when they did the MTV Music Awards last year, not this past year, but the year before in Brooklyn. I was at a pizzeria, and all of a sudden I saw Shawn Mendes with Camila Cabello, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like they're just sitting there having fun, and there's definitely I saw it in her eyes that she was into him. So I took like a photo on my phone, and I thought this was a great photo, and I gave it to a news editor, and the photo became crazy because it was like the start of their relationship. Did very well financially with that photo. Yeah, I did very financially well with that photo.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I got to pay a few bills that month because of that photo. But yeah, I just hope they don't guard him. He seems like such a guarded person. He seems like a nice guy, but the team around him is so guarded. I just want to see what kind of guy he actually is. Like, yeah, you can be nice when the cameras are on, but when the cameras are off, are you that good of a person? Do you have your moments? I mean, if they're candid, it's going to be great TV. If they're not, it's going to be a boring documentary.
Yeah,
Lady Joy said,
I feel...
if the documentary isn't true crime, I probably won't watch it.
True crime featuring Shawn Mendes. Yeah, I agree with you. All we kind of know about Shawn is he's this sweet Canadian boy, super talented. A lot of our T-Tribe members, about your story, Adam, they think their relationship is a scam, is a PR stunt. So what do you have to say about that?
That's a good question. So when I ran into them, that's a very good question. There is a lot of PR stunt relationships in Hollywood. Dax and I could totally admit, I know some that I can't really name of, but it's insane. I've known some crazy breakups where the actual couple don't break up. It's the managements who kind of break them up, which is so bizarre, but I'm not going to go into specifics. However, when I did see them, it was Shawn, a gentleman, and her. And she had a bodyguard with her, and the bodyguard kind of waited outside. And the gentleman with him, I found out, was his manager. So I don't think it's a scam. I think it's legit, but I think it's just two people that actually understand each other, understand their kind of life that they have. Is it going to last? I don't know. I'm not in the relationship. I don't know.
The only reason I would say this one in particular isn't a scam, and I know that there is a lot of controversy around it and conspiracy, is because it lasted way longer than a lot of the just publicity relationships, except Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. But all the other ones, they normally come and go really quickly. And it's just to get that photograph of them walking in the park like Taylor Swift and Harry Styles. But then, they break up and move on.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Taylor Swift and no Harry Styles, but Demi Lovato, Demi spoke out about her views on American politics. Speaking to CNN in response to her new single, which we'll get to in a moment, Demi spoke about the backlash many celebrities have faced once they weigh in with their political views. So she specifically mentioned Taylor Swift and how the public reacted to Taylor's recent openness regarding the subject. She said, quote, "You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't." You can list Taylor Swift as a perfect example of that exact saying. For years, she got trashed because she wasn't taking a stance and wasn't standing up for these rights, and she kind of took a back seat. And now she's become very political, and there are people that are unhappy with that too. It's just like you have to live with what feels authentic to you. To me, that's using my platform to speak out about the things that I see that are wrong. So Taylor actually showed her fans the moment she decided to break her political silence in her Netflix documentary film, Miss Americana, where she has a conversation with her dad about speaking up. So guys, how did you react to Demi's revelations? And do you think there is a double standard when it comes to celebrities talking about politics?
Adam?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. She's right. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Part people want them to speak up, and now we have it's just so cringeworthy when they get involved. I don't really have an answer for it because I understand their side. Right now, what cringeworthy is we have a bunch of celebrities being naked telling us to vote, and then if you vote, which is just that video was cringeworthy enough, and then if you don't vote for who they want, then you're just ridiculed. So it depends how you go about it. As long as you don't try to act like you're smarter than other people, but just maybe some causes that you really stand for that really matter to you, I think is okay. But if you come from a place where other people are wrong and you're not listening to other people, or that you're trying to teach other people, I don't think that's right. I think I get it. It's a no-win situation. So I think it's one of those things, just go as you feel. And and rather than go for actual politics, rather saying which candidate to pick, why don't you go for causes that you really believe in?
I gotta tell
Good
you, I
point.
am so ready for this election to be over. I am just ready to move on to the next phase in our lives. I'm ready for it to be 2021 now. But I can feel, I can understand the pressure that these celebs go through, because I don't even want to talk politics with my friends or publicly myself, and I'm a nobody. So for them to
Yeah.
have to go out there on such a public platform and say who they support, knowing that no matter what you say, you're going to upset half the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can stand for your beliefs, but you know that there's going to be a lot of people that they take politics so seriously that they will never listen to another song of yours again because you supported the candidate that they didn't like. Like, that to me is
Right.
wild. Like, you said one statement and now I'm never going to listen to your music and I hate you forever. Like, it's politics have become so polarizing, and it runs so deep in people that I couldn't imagine in the past ever saying, oh, I support this person and now people hate me. Like, it's wild. So I can understand. I can understand the fear of speaking up right now.
So let me ask you, Dax. So if you're a celebrity, which if you were, would you kind of go and Alex, would you, if you were in the public eye, would you speak more openly about politics, or would you kind of stay quiet?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dax, go ahead.
No. Sorry. You go ahead, Alex.
Well, I feel like it's every person's kind of decision whether they want to do that. I know personally I'm a little bit more private about it just as myself. But I also think that it's very brave of these celebrities to come out, and if they feel so strongly about something, they are willing to risk, like you said, half their fan base in order to get their point across. So it's brave, and it just emphasizes the fact that, like, these celebrities and these artists that are coming out are human. Like, like they are voters as well. And so they do have a voice. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I just think it's brave. And I agree that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So luckily, I don't have anyone kind of asking me.
But isn't it funny that we got to the point where, like, speaking your belief is brave because of the backlash? Like, it's not just like, oh, that's your opinion. That's cool. We can respect you for your opinion. But it's become to a point where you say your opinion and people hate you for it.
Yeah.
For one little thing.
It's also sad. It's also sad that people don't feel safe speaking their opinions, because we all have different views and every view is okay. It's, it's your own belief. But yeah, it is so polarizing that it's sad. But while we're on the topic of Demi, let's get into our new music spotlight, because Demi released new music, which kind of is on this same topic. She was interviewed by CNN in the same interview because of her new single, Commander in Chief, which dropped yesterday. So the new song is a scathing takedown of President Donald Trump, and Demi doesn't pull any punches, singing about everything from the mishandling of the COVID crisis to the controversial policies enacted by the current administration. So Demi sings at one point in the song, quote, "Do you even know the truth? We're in a state of crisis. People are dying while you line your pockets deep. Commander-in-Chief, how does it feel to still be able to breathe?" So Demi spoke to CNN about the song and the reason she decided to speak out in this way, saying, quote, "There's been so many times that I've wanted to write the president a letter or sit down with him and ask him these questions. And then I thought, I don't really actually want to do that. And I thought one way that I could do that is writing a song and releasing it for the whole world to hear. And then he has to answer those questions to everyone and not just me." So Dax and Adam, T-Tribe, what do you think of Demi's new song? And do you think she actually accomplished something writing this song?
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like Demi Lovato is someone Trump would go after. Yeah, I feel like Trump is such an interesting guy and sort of an ego guy, obviously, that he could go after Demi because he finds her weak, even though it wasn't that strong of a lyric. It wasn't. Here's the thing. Me personally, I'm not well adjusted when it comes to politics. That's why I don't feel confident speaking about them. When it comes to celeb news, I'm on this show. I feel good speaking about celebrity news because I've I've worked so many different parts around the industry that I understand the business behind it. With this, I thought she put out a lyric that was not strong enough where it could make people divide. It was more just a really good lyric. But also she's setting up Donald Trump to come at her because he loves this. He loves attention. He loves going after celebrities. So, and it's this a perfect opportunity during election season for him to go after her.
I was gonna say, I think he's gonna love being on a song. He's gonna love being the focus of attention. So as much as she thinks this is gonna like hurt him, I think he loves it. I think he, everyone talking about him and him being a focal point of a song that'll never go away at this point is good for him. I don't know. It's tough. I don't think what she wants to accomplish is going to be accomplished, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like you said, we're here to talk about celebrity news. We are not experts in politics, which is why we are going to get into our next story about Nicki and Cardi collabing on a song. This is some, entertainment news politics, because there are two sides to this as well. And Barb's and the Barty gang both were shocked yesterday when news broke about a possible collab between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. So fans and music sleuths uncovered that the music site Genius registered a new collaboration between the famously feuding rappers called Lavish. So social media flew into a frenzy, of course, as diehard fans didn't know how to handle the news. So some commenters wrote, quote, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B Lavish produce Mike Will Made It leak. Y'all, is this real? Then another user said, imagine if Nicki is on Cardi's song, I would fall the F out. What the Barbs and Barty gang gonna do then Chile? And then another user said, I don't understand why the Barbs keep coming for Cardi when they need to be out there supporting Nicki and helping her get a #1 hit. So obviously, if this turns out to be true, this is some big news. Are you excited about the prospects of Nicki and Cardi collabing together? I know there are very, very strong feelings. People are going to get crazy in the chat right now. Do you think this means the beef between them has been squashed?
I love it. I am stoked. I love when celebs like turn the script, because you have to realize their fan base has been just at war with each other. Like Cardi posts a photo and then half of Nicki's fans come and just like crap all over it. So now it's like, what are you guys going to do now? They're teaming up. They're going to make a ton of money off this, because that's the best way to make money is with controversy. So you have the shoe throwing incident. You have them battling it out because who's the more successful rap artist of all time and all these things. And you're like, screw it. Put all of that aside and make money. Make a ton of money, make a good song, and everyone will be there for it. So I say good for them to just put it all aside and just become like the talk of the town over it.
Beefs. Yeah, I would say beefs usually in the music industry don't last between different artists. They last within groups. We have music groups break up and they never get back together. But between different artists, they usually don't last too much. I mean, look at Jay-Z and Nas were at each other's throats, and now they're good friends. So I could see them. They're obviously the two biggest stars in the hip-hop industry as far as female acts currently. It just makes sense that they start work together. And in some ways, and I think Nicki Minaj fans might hate this, but I feel like Cardi B wins here because she's, I think, the top dog right now. And it feels like she's given a little bit charitable aspect where it's like, hey, I'm helping someone else out who could use a little bit more clout.
Nicki doesn't need help. Stop it.
Dude, she
Stop
does.
It.
Cardi B is bigger than Nicki Minaj ever was. That's how big Cardi B is.
The reason Cardi B is here is because Nicki opened the door. Like, don't give me that. I think they're both successful women. They don't need to be pitted towards each other. I think that the best thing they can do is, instead of fighting with each other, work together and elevate both of them.
Yeah,
the good news is, I was going to say, the PR end on the other side of it's like, we're in a political year where people are very divided, and then it makes them both look good. Here's two people who are so divided, but they came together, but they obviously came together to make money. They came together for their own needs. But there's a lot of politically correctness behind it. There's a lot of public relations behind it, and it's good for everyone.
Yeah, so my co-host Courtney is on vacation right now. He's a huge Nicki Minaj fan, so that's why you see that in the chat, everyone. He would not be happy about this going on right now and have some strong feelings. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, Sarah, who's calling, I said Chile. For anyone that follows TikTok, there's this viral trend going around that no one knows how to say chal, which that's pronounced in the quote. So I made a joke. I know how it's pronounced. And back to this whole thing, I agree with you. You know, I think that they're kind of coming together to be successful, and they should empower each other. You know, there's already so much they have to go through being in the rap world, being powerful female rappers. They have to overcome a lot. So they're kind of like, you know what, we'll just get together and make some money. You know, Monica and Brandy back in the day did this as well with Boy Is Mine. Katie and Taylor did this. You know, it's funny and it's exciting when, you know, there's this beef going on and the two celebrities kind of say, hey, we can do this and make money off of it. So I like it as well.
People love when you fight and people love when you make up. So they're doing both.
The one thing I learned about show business is that it's show business. It's two separate things. It's the show and the business. It's what makes money. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to make money, and they're going to make a lot of money from this.
Right, exactly. All right, well, speaking of making money, Niall Horan announces a new concert. So basically, our favorite artists we know are using streaming to bring us their new music more and more as the pandemic drags on. And Niall Horan is the latest to announce a new streaming concert. So posting yesterday to his Instagram account, Niall let everyone know about his new live stream concert coming November 7th. In the post, Niall wrote, quote, "I'm so happy to share that I'll be playing a special live stream show from London's legendary Royal Albert Hall on November 7th. Until we are able to return, I want to shine a light on this incredible crew members of our touring world that make those events possible and whose livelihoods have been severely affected by COVID-19 and the lack of financial support to self-employed Arts World members." So, as Niall mentioned, all of the proceeds will be raised for Niall's touring crew members and the hashtag We Need Crew Relief Fund. The fund was recently launched to support the men and women out of work due to the pandemic in the touring industry. So not only is Niall giving back to his team, but we get music too. So guys, what do you think of Niall's efforts to support those who have supported him for so long?
It's awesome. It's great. It's one of those things, first of all, from, again, personal experiences from dealing with One Direction over the years. Niall's always been the coolest guy. He's very grounded. He's just very normal. He's just very present when you meet him. And then he's doing a charitable concert, but he's not doing to some of the usual charities that we're used to seeing all the time. This is a community that we forget about, that's actually hurting. Somewhat of like a small business in ways. So I think it's really cool of him just taking care of his team, the people that help him out fulfill his dreams and his goals, but also people everywhere, others, a lot of touring communities. And I hope other musicians are taking care of their teams as far as for the touring community financially as well, because it's difficult for everyone. I think it's just a really cool move on his part.
I mean, there is nothing bad you can say about this. It is a dope move on his part. The fans win out. His touring members win out. The charity wins out. I mean, it's just a good story all around, and I feel like that's what we need in 2020 is good stories. It's all death and destruction and horribleness, and so good for him for stepping up and doing something awesome for other people.
Yes, 100%. All right, well, let's get into our Car Jenner tea time because it is about that time in the show, and we got to keep up with these Kardashians as always. So in a new teaser clip for this Thursday's episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the older Kardashian sisters discuss what happened between Kylie and Kendall and Corey Gamble in the car ride back from Palm Springs that erupted into a huge fight. So Khloe starts off by saying, quote, "There was already tension when the night started. There was tension at dinner. Kendall didn't come to the drag show. It was building up, and I think it just boiled over. And that's what happened. I think it just sucks for everybody. Sisters can get over it. I don't know if you're not a sister, how easy that is to get over it." So the sisters go on to talk about how I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. We have some breaking news. Did you see this? This is way more important than Kardashian and Jenner tea time right
Ariana
now.
Grande?
Cal just said, "Stop everything now." Ariana just announced that her album will come out this month. That is some breaking news. We've been on here. We're not watching our Twitter feeds.
Whoa!
That's a big deal right there, you guys. I'm sorry to break stop the Car Jenner tea time, but that's important right there. Thank you for the update, Tal.
Her
All right,
album will come out this month. What do you think we can expect, guys, from Ariana? Are we gonna get some R&B?
I think there's gonna be a lot of crap talking in there. That's what she does best and turns it into an amazing song. So, listen, she rarely puts out songs that the world doesn't love. So I think that's exactly what we're going to get from it. A great album.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of songs in the same note. I feel like Ariana Grande has the same note. She's got this one note, and it's very good, but her range is not there.
Oh,
I feel like some shade coming from Adam over there.
That is a controversial.
Listen, I got some stories about Ariana Grande that I can't really say, but I'll tell you guys off the show.
Got a little resentment back there. All right. Well, I apologize for breaking news. Thank you for breaking into the chat. Thank you, Tal.
Yes.
Okay, we can go back to that.
We've been awaiting this album, so this is very exciting. Tal, you're like our investigative reporter over here. Just find out some more info. Maybe we got a track list, an album cover. Give us the news while we're talking about our Kardashians. So, as I mentioned, the sisters go on to talk about how messy the situation has become, especially since they weren't there to see how it went down exactly, and because Chris's boyfriend, Corey Gamble, was in the middle of it as well. So they also expressed their concern for Chris, who had to kind of wade in on the drama, not only between her daughters, but also her boyfriend as well. Or it's rumored they're married, but we don't know. How do you think this is going to resolve itself on the show?
Oh my God, the Kardashians and Jenners having a fight? How is this ever going to resolve itself? I mean, listen, these people know exactly what they're doing. They are the best publicists and media gurus on the planet. So the fact that they're turning this into the next big storyline, it's just what they do, guys. And they will be fine. And at the end of the day, Kylie and Kendall will work out their issues, whether or not they have a heel to her neck or not. I think that this is just what happens in the family. And it happens in every family. Every family has siblings that don't get along, and then eventually they work it out, right? I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, this is not the first time we've seen a fight within the sisters. This is not the first time we've seen a fight within the family. This is also the last season they got coming up on the Kardashians. So they want to go out with a bang. They know they need to make this series closure to be insane. And I could see them trying to compete with like the end of Seinfeld. They want to make this, for some people, this is their Seinfeld. When Seinfeld ended, it was a big thing. To a lot of people, this is very similar. So they're trying to build this up, and I think they're going to try to go out with, gun flying.
Yeah. Stephanie in the chat is saying, we need tea after dark. I want to hear those stories. Everyone wants to hear these stories you keep referencing. You're just teasing us.
Ooh.
He does reveal a lot of them on the podcast. Just saying.
Yeah, I got the real dirt. If you want, I got some crazy story. I mean, it's insane. That's what it is, guys. Remember, it's show business, and I apologize for kind of hiding it a little bit, and it's only because for legal reasons I have to. But I know the truth from the source themselves.
I love it. Well, Brandy is also saying #rich people problems over a dress, because yes, the fight that Kendall and Kylie are having is because Kylie is wearing a dress of Courtney's that Kendall wanted to wear out that night. But this is a normal sister fight. Like you said, these fights are what makes the show go round. Of course, they're going to get back to normal. The Kardashians, however you feel about them, they are a very close-knit, tight family, and they will defend each other at the end of the day and stick up for each other. So, speaking of sticking up for each other, Kylie and Kendall, are on good terms. As I mentioned, posting to Instagram yesterday, Kylie showed off some old family photos of herself and her sisters, suggesting that whatever drama happened during the filming of the show is over. So the photos show Kylie and Kendall dressed in Wizard of Oz Halloween costumes and then dressed as Teletubbies with the caption, quote, almost that time. Now, the post goes a long way to show that Khloe is right in the teaser clip for this week's episodes. Sisters can get over it. How cute are these photos? And when do you think we'll get a little glimpse of Stormi's outfit for this year's trick or treat? Even though Halloween is canceled, I think we'll get a little taste of that. What do you think, guys?
Can we pull up the photo again of the Halloween where they are Wizard of Oz? Where's the
one
Wizard
before?
of Oz one? Because is Kendall the Wicked Witch in that photo? I'm just wondering if she's actually shading her by calling her a witch on her Instagram.
You know, that's a good point.
No, but
Or
I think the other thing people need to realize is that, you know, when they shot this, that's a while ago. So they've essentially they've had time to make up. You know what I'm saying? Like what we see on TV now was shot months ago. So it's not like that drama is continuing on.
Right.
I mean, listen, we know they love each other. I mean, they're celebrating in money. They're gorgeous. They're wealthy. They got good people around them. Even through all the fights, it's like and they grew up together. Like they're the Jenners. You know, we have the Kardashians, but they're Jenners, and they have a very close bond. They're similar in age, the same friends. Everything's good in Kardashian land.
Yes, it is. Well, not
even with
everything.
all the Kanye drama.
Yeah, or they'll let us think that. You know, or Kris Jenner will make sure we feel that way. But not everything is good in Cardi B land right now, because let's get into our OMT story of the day. Of course, our headline, the reason some of you are joining us this morning. So why does this always happen to Cardi? So Cardi blew up the internet yesterday when she accidentally posted a nude photo of herself to her Instagram story. So she deleted the photo as quickly as she could and later spoke about the slip up in a Twitter voice note like this. Quote, Lord, why the F you have to make me so effing stupid? Why? You know what? I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to eat my breakfast and then I'm going to go to the party. I'm not going to think about it. No, I won't. It is what it is. You know, she went on to say shit happened. F it. It's not even the first time. I used to be a stripper, so whatever. Ay, Dios mío. So Cardi also shut down some of the shade she started receiving on social regarding the size of her areolas, clapping back with, quote, I breastfed a baby for 3 months. Her lady parts got bigger, so everything got bigger, as you see here. But of course, this isn't the end. I don't need to say all of that. This isn't the end of you guys can read, right, T-Tribe? This isn't the end to the nude leak story. The accidental post came while Cardi and Offset were in bed together. So aren't these two supposed to be getting divorced? I know we talked about it, earlier this week that, possibly they're still together or reconciling. She explained the whole incident and very casually brushed past the fact that she was in bed with Offset at the time. This also comes after Cardi gave him a lot of love during her birthday celebrations over the weekend and was spotted going to a strip club with him since then. So what do you guys have to make of all of this? And do you think these two are actually getting a divorce?
No, I think these two are like magnets. They get separated and then come right back together eventually. I think that they may have their own issues. I think that it's really hard to be in a relationship as a celebrity. You've got a lot of pressure. Everything you do is under a microscope. You're traveling a lot. So I think that it's hard to have that celeb relationship, and they take a step apart from each other and go, no. I thought that's what I wanted, but I actually want to be together. So they just keep coming back, separating, coming back. And that just may work for them. For some people, that kind of drama works. It doesn't sound fun to me, but clearly she keeps letting him back in. He keeps running back.
Yeah, I think with a lot of times with divorce, it comes down to money. And with this one, they don't lack in money. They're both not hurting, and I'm sure their lawyers took care of everything beforehand. It's obviously there's still a relationship there. I'm sure they got into a fight and said we're going to get divorced, but it sounds like something's still going on. As far as her accidental leak, no guy is complaining, at least. And don't apologize, Cardi. That's you. Own you. Like it's fine. A lot of people have seen you naked before. It's totally good.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because when I saw this headline, it didn't necessarily surprise me. Of course, it's part of Cardi's brand. She's sexual. She's sexy. She wears outfits that are risque. So, this is not crazy. But of course, she deserves her privacy. And if it was supposed to be private, then it should stay private. So I feel for her as a woman, but I also think that the bigger story is that she was in bed with Offset. And of course, they still have a lot of love for each other. They share a daughter together. This story isn't over anytime soon.
Oh, no.
And
no
it
way.
may be on and off. And we may just be, speculating what's going on in the relationship for the rest of their life. But if they're happy, I mean, what else can we say about this? You know what I mean? If this is the relationship they want, then
I'll drink to them, and I'll drink to their daughter having her parents together. So there you go.
Exactly.
That's what I'm drinking.
Exactly. All right. Well, on that note, guys, this is all the tea we have to spill today. Thanks again for joining me. Don't worry, Tea Tribe. Dax and Adam will be back tomorrow again for their final day on this week of the morning tea. And if you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're an after sipper, share your thoughts in the comments below. We love to hear all your thoughts and all the tea we had to spill today. And guys, if they want another dose of you, where can they find you?
You can find us at the Hollywood Raw Podcast.
Right here.
We're on iTunes and Stitcher and iHeart and all that kind of stuff. Come check out our podcast. It's really fun. We drop a lot of tea on our podcast, and Adam reveals all his fun gossip stories. So it's a fun place there, and you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all of that, just our names, basically.
Yes, and of course, you can follow me at Alex Schiffman on all social media, and we'll see you tomorrow. And on that note, it's time to wash our hands, guys. This tea, and stay healthy, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.